All right, here we are, folks. Back to standard time today. I think if y'all like me, you woke up early this morning and can go back to sleep. Today's the 2nd November, Sunday. Um, this is not a very exciting satellite view, is it? But happy Sunday, guys. I get to go to Disney on Ice today with my granddaughter and my daughter and enjoy that. So that's gonna be fun. I hope y'all have something good planned and after church today. Um, so let's get started. I know I talked yesterday about some long range forecasts and did get really into specifics and I don't want to get in the weeds too much. It might bore people. So I'm trying to figure out how the best way to do that. But anyway, I appreciate you watching. And today I'm going to go over basically what's going to go on in the nation in the next week or so. Since yesterday I was more focused on the long term. And yesterday was quite a struggle. I spent quite a few hours putting together the video. Only was 10 minutes worth because it kept crashing on me. So hopefully that won't happen today. Really not going to get not a lot going on today. Getting tongue tied here. This is the infrared satellite loop, right? The really, if you want to call it that, big player in the flow today is a mid-level feature here. Quite cold aloft for this time of year. Uh, Brought some severe weather down to the Texas Gulf Coast yesterday, and we have the jet stream pretty far north, and maybe some divergence aloft here, which is creating some higher clouds, maybe some shower and thunderstorms. You can see the overall interesting feature down here in the tropics, the subtropics. Anyway, I talked a lot yesterday, so maybe my excuse me if I'm drinking coffee here, trying to keep my throat from getting raspy here, my voice. But anyway, the infrared satellite loop isn't that impressive, is it? Not a lot of higher, colder cloud tops, reds and oranges, of course. Would be more intense convection. Moving on to the mid-level water vapor loop, you can see the flow here, the mid levels, and that mid-level feature move through the flow here, right? Compact, um, very cold aloft, which when you have a cold temperatures aloft, you even with just general showers, you can get some thunderstorm like convective showers that may have some lightning, some small hail. Nothing severe expected, but um, I'll go over the general outlook here um, for thunderstorms in a few minutes. Not trying to make out more than it is, but you can also see maybe a short wave going through the flow here as well. But overall, that's what you're seeing here, right? Looks like a mid-level ridge right in here. And there'll be a surface low develop off the coast here. Likely move up this way. Not looking to bring maybe some moisture right there, but that's about it. So here are your current national hazards today. Uh, I wanted to try this out. This is the Esri-based National Digital Database forecast display. Kind of an interesting way to display the national hazards here. We have freeze warnings for the central part of the country here, along with dense fog advisories to the north here, and some frost advisories to the south, dense fog advisories. We have some high wind warnings up here in the right off the front range of the northern Rocky Mountains. Downslope winds likely a problem with the jet stream being as strong it is up there up north. Small craft advisories offshore here today, and some frost advisories in these areas here today. uh, current temperatures. Yeah, so 30s, 40s. This is as of 7 a.m., which is right about now. 50s off the front range. And what's likely triggering that is downslope winds. The air warms and then compresses and dries as it comes off the front range. So you have warmer temperatures, and the dew points are probably very, very low. Um, so overall, not too bad. Cold here in the part of the nation, the Northeast, but overall not too bad. So let's move on to what the temperatures are going to be the next 7 days, above normal, below normal temps. This gives a better idea of, like, depiction of the temperature below normal, and that helps you understand it's going to be colder than you would expect, warmer than you would expect for next week or so. The northern part of the U.S. expected to be up into where we showed those high wind warnings, much warmer than normal here. Wow, 20, 30 degrees above normal here. That's pretty darn hot for there, up the upper Midwest. I mean, the up northern high plains here. Well, the bullseye here in the central part of the U.S., likely due to that upper level feature moving through the flow we showed in the satellite picture, right? Still warmer than average for a good part of the nation, which we talked about yesterday with the climate, right? How we expected the climate to be warmer than normal from a good portion of the country for November. You see how warm it is up here. Wow. So you get 7 days out: Saturday, Sunday, 7 p.m. All on the East Coast, likely below normal temps. The central part of the U.S. above normal. And the precip totals, right? This is not necessarily showing the total precip amount, but how dry it's going to be. Um, Anomalies as an amount of moisture in the atmosphere. See where the most moisture is up here in the Northwest. A good portion of the eastern U.S. is drier than normal. Just dry as a bone here, with maybe some return moisture to the south, but most of the moisture remains out west here, right? And this is getting to Monday here, and you will have looks like maybe a cold front trying to push through. And I'm going to go a little further out here. You see how it gets kind of pinched off here, and more dry air pushes through, so we don't stay in the wet pattern very long. All right. So this is a representation of the actual precipitation amount on the at the surface, right? And that's directly reflected in the PWAT values, when you need, amount of relative moisture in the column of the atmosphere, right? See the darker purples and are, right, and maybe reds and oranges depict where the most moisture is. You see where that system is, that low, um, the level low, move to the flow. Maybe a low forming off the southeast coast here, not bringing a lot of moisture inland. Maybe a little bit here, right off the coast. All right. Northern to the U.S. stays somewhat wet, but not markedly so. The biggest precip chance is along the west coast here. So total snow depth, you know, not a lot of snow really. Is deep snow anyway. There is some snow in the mountains, but um, although there's forecast to be some snow up here into the northeast, maybe, but really not that deep of snow just yet. Uh, Now, what's driving the flow here? This is a short term. Well, this is a CFS, more of a climate model output, right? Showing 500 millibar temperatures, which is the temperatures at the mid the atmosphere with this, which are a direct indication of cold air aloft, a pocket of cold air aloft moving through the flow, right? Um, Mid-level feature here, and it's really cut off from the main flow here. Here's the main flow. This is maybe part of it, but it's kind of moving away from it, right? So that mid-level feature moving through the flow here, you see how it kind of gets pinched off and loses strength and just kind of gets absorbed or just weakens quite a bit, right? With no support from the upper levels, it mid to upper level flow just flattens out. Um, this is Tuesday, right? You see the flow of 500 millibars, which is mid-level flow, is quite zonal right there. The deeper purples colors here indicate cold air aloft, right? So cold air aloft usually translates to, um, you know, cold air to surface normally. So you have these heights building here out west, high pressure at the mid levels, right? So we move through time with this. You maybe have a little bit of kink in the flow moving through here, but overall, generally, the jet stream is pretty far north, you guys. So if we go to, let's just look at the heights, all right? And you compare that. You see what I'm talking about? That's where your jet stream is. Go up a little to 200 millibars. This is 144 hours out. European model depiction of that. Maybe depicting a dip in the jet stream further on off the east coast here, the possibility of a low pressure developing off the coast. Um, Maybe if it pans out this way, it's pretty far out. Depicting a negative tilt here. Then again, this is 9 days from now, so details will pan out later. But where you have a deep trough over here, you have at the upper levels. You go back to the mid levels, high pressure. Mid levels means warmer temps here. So go further out here. Zonal flow resumes, and you have a deep trough, maybe moving off the west coast of the U.S. Um, Further out, you get a little further out than this. This model is depicting quite a potent mid-level feature moving through the flow here towards the end of this model run, which is the 16th, which still doesn't depict much of a northerly flow here, right? So cold air intrusions to the deep south are not likely, really. Okay, so what is the severe weather outlook for the next couple days? My cat is visiting me. Hey, Pearl. I'll let her get up on the window here. She likes to jump on my window sill. Sorry, guys. Maybe you get to see Pearl there. Come here, Pearl. Hi. She's not too happy right now. So, um, uh, so general thunderstorms possible today in the Mississippi Valley here to North Georgia, maybe. Um, Along the southeast coast and the southern Florida. But beyond that, next 3 days, not expecting any really severe weather at all. Hey, Pearl. And excessive rainfall outlook for today. Nothing expected here along at all, really. For day 2, nothing. Day 3, we have a marginal risk along the west coast here between Northern California and Oregon. Day 4, still on the west coast with that onshore flow there. Same thing for day 5. So um, now I'm going to go over the surface pattern for the different areas of the United States. Right, we'll go over some regional. This is a surface pattern and what precip may look like. Reflectivity that low, moving out to sea there. Got some rainfall here moving along the southeast, possibly North Carolina, and maybe some convective showers up here in the northeast, right? Other than that, northeast Georgia. Okay, right. So at least 48 hours or so, and the flow becomes a lot less amplified there. We move into the mid-Atlantic. Go back here. See that low moving through. Moisture being pulled up to the north here. That low develops offshore and then moves out to sea there. The north, oops, regional. First time doing this, guys. Forgive me here. Maybe some moisture moving all the way up in the Delaware, Virginia, parts of South Jersey, and maybe some ice, freezing rain here. Move through time, but into the northeast. Nothing else much going on. See where the 540 line is? That's the freezing line right up here in the northeast. We move out to the Midwest. Overall, not a lot going on. Maybe some freezing precip up to the north here. Other than that, not much. Mississippi Valley. Going back to that, you can see the mid-level flow here. You see the cold air right here. The 540 line. Cold air loft. It's really depicting more cold air loft than anything, guys. And you see what happens with it. It moves through the flow and really weakens quite a bit. All right. North central U.S. Some colder air, relatively, maybe some freezing precip briefly up here. Overall zonal flow. Let's take a look at the winds here. Overall, not too windy, but I mean, today, likely to be winds at 20, 30 miles an hour up here, the northern tier. Um, and off the front range of the Rockies here. Going back to the central U.S., let's look at any precip here. Nothing really at all. All right. Winds. Enhanced flow off the northern Rockies here will likely lead to some downslope effects, right? And higher winds here during the day. Same thing happened during the day tomorrow, right? So I know it's kind of boring going through this, but I want to go through this for everybody, okay? Pick what you want here. Go back to the wind. You see the winds up here enhanced right on the Canadian border off the Rockies. Again, likely tied to some diurnal effects from downslope, right? Precip. Maybe some orographically enhanced snow, freezing rain, not freezing rain, maybe sleet mix or something up here in the mountains. But overall, not a lot to talk about. Maybe some more snow and rain up here, way up here in the northern high plains in the mountains. Maybe a little bit more if we get further out, 2 days out there. So, uh, moving out to the northwest, this is where we got most of the stuff coming through here, with the onshore flow. Big moisture pull coming right on the west coast here. We get further out in time, right? And then the winds, of course, are enhanced with this little low comes on shore, right on shore there. Then you have a deeper trough moving through further out, more enhanced winds at the surface right off right on shore here, right? And if we move to the southwest, let's take a look. A lot going on as far as winds go. Get further out in time with this. You see the trough building in a little bit, some winds on shore here. Um, and it's not unusual this time of year for get like that. Precip is depicting a pretty strong push of moisture further out here, right? When we looked at that on the map, and some snow, uh, mixed precip in the mountains of California, Sierra Nevada, the Sierra Mountains here. So overall, not a very active pattern, except maybe in the northwest. So enjoy it. It's very changeable right now, and we get into winter more. Probably you have more pushes of colder air, but right now for the month of November, not looking too changeable really. Anyway, I hope you all have a good day, and God bless.